What up, what up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. I'm running the solo tonight, so we're just going to touch on a few things as long as the algorithm lets us. And, we'll just ride it out and see what happens. So, a lot of bullshit in the news today. A lot of bullshit in the news pretty much all week, but it's a lot of nothing. Before I get anywhere on anything I found interesting, look, and I've seen it's getting kind of rough now. I mean, people, these Trump haters are getting fucking ridiculous. Again, I done spoke very, very adamantly in the past few shows about my distaste for some of the things that 47's been doing lately. Not saying everything is bad. There's just a lot of things that seem real familiar. I pick up a lot of details, and I remember a lot of things that just oddball things. And if something matches up now with some oddball that doesn't hit my memory, I mean, right. That being said, look, I don't know what you people want out of these files. I would like to see everything too. A lot of shit is some fuck shit that has to do supposedly with kids. So, no, I don't need to see that. But I'd like to know who else besides 47 that you think is on this list. Or is it that you just want 47 on that list so fucking bad, the proverbial list? Because there is no list. Now, there's a black book that has been published. There are flight logs that have been published. There is a testimony from Ghislaine that has been let out. I don't know what the fuck else y'all people want. I mean, I want the rest of the names, but get it through your fucking head. The Don is not on there. At least not the way you want him to. You guys want him to be on that fucking list so bad. Y'all want him to be for people to want someone to be a pedophile and to want it that bad. You are fucking sick. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care who you are. If you want somebody to be a pedophile that bad, you are fucked up. I'm going to just say it. I don't care who the fuck you are. I mean, what the fuck else do you want out there? The last bit of anything, supposedly, that is still not out and not let loose, or the grand jury filings or whatever, testimony and filings and who's stopping that? Fuck faces. It's the Democrats stopping it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I've been hearing actually I seen one today that just kind of pissed, like it just chopped my ass. Oh, your president is a pedophile, or anything that comes up now is okay. This is a distraction. Where are the files? So I'm gonna let y'all in on a little something. I said it on one of the other shows before, but dumb fucks who want this whole island thing or whatever. First of all, when Donald Trump did associate with this fuckface, that island didn't even exist, or the possession of the island didn't exist. Right there. All right. Second of all, people who hate Trump has exonerated him. We'll use the Democrats' own playbook. 4 fucking years. 4 fucking years. Y'all been dragging this man through the mud, bringing up any fucking of his realty shit, bringing up his bankruptcies, bringing up the fucking, you know, all this and that. You gonna tell me? Wrong way. Sorry about that. You gonna tell me that the Democrats wouldn't have brought this shit out? You gonna tell me they ain't gonna? Or wait a minute. Here's a better question. Why the fuck didn't y'all put it out? Why ain't nobody mad at the fucking old Dirty Joe for not putting it out? Why ain't nobody mad for Obama putting it out? Nobody's mad at that shit. Y'all want this motherfucker to be on this whole shit so bad. Why? Why? I mean, again, although I'm not approving of the last few fucking, you know, things that's been going on or whatever with this administration, which I'm allowed to do as an American. You know, that's the way this works. You know, yeah, I voted for somebody, but he's fucking up, so I can say he's fucking up. No, you voted for him, fuck him, and fuck you too. What kind of fucking country what did you fucking woke idiots turn this country into? Look into who was the one who dropped the dime on that motherfucker. Alright? Start there. Before you go through any more of this, you know, he's hiding this, he's a pedophile, that, he's this and that. Look who fucking called the cops. He didn't even call the cops. He went to the fucking police station. Look who. Look who was the one who started your almighty fucking witch hunt. Mighty funny, nobody's worried about who's on that Diddy list. Mighty funny. You know why nobody's worried about who's on that Diddy list? Because 90% of them are Democrat fucking supporters. It is what it is. That's why when them rumors that 047 was gonna fucking pardon Diddy, that ain't gonna fucking happen. They did make a fucking ploy for it though. They did. If nobody fucking knows. And I guess Diddy and his lawyer went into old 47's office or whatever. I guess they spoke, you know, face to face or whatever. And they were very rude and very condescending. And, you know, Diddy still got this his shit don't stink type of attitude. And Trump pretty much told him to go fuck himself. Now, you would think, being the mogul that Diddy was, being the mogul that 47 is, if there's ties to Jeffrey Island in your eyes, then there has to be ties to Diddy slip and slide parties, whatever the fuck. Ever think of that? No, of course not. Because we're just worried about finding old bad orange man in whatever fucking files there are. You know, the first time I heard it, when Pie and Bondi came out with the horse shit, there was nothing there. I was like, fuck him and fuck you too. That's bullshit. But I noticed there's a little game being played here. When 47 said, I'd highly doubt there's any comments, but we'll put it up anyways. All right. So when 47 said, I want to release the documents, people started having a fit. Not the public, the government people. No. We can't do that. So all of a sudden, there's papers over here and there's stuff over there and there's judges say we can't do this and that. Okay. So then, Elon and 47 get into their little spat, and Elon happened to fucking drop something. Just conveniently. Oh, now everybody wants to see this. Everybody wants to see this. So the wheels started turning a little bit better. And it slowed down. So the public wanted to hear more. They demanded more. Not the government, the public. Which, what else did you want? So 47 sends his lawyer to go talk to the bitch. The other person. Here's another thing, fuckfaces. For you guys who just know, you just know in your heart that he's in there. He's yeah. When the whole court shit blew up before Maxwell went to prison, in her affidavit from the courts, whatever the fuck she said, her plea, her agreement with the court, she was free. She was part. She was already done. There was no prosecution agreement. There was one on her, and I believe like 5 more. I could be wrong on them numbers. Which nobody talks about who they were. Nobody says a fucking thing about who they were. Nobody. Not a goddamn person. We don't even know who them people are. But they got the same agreement that Maxwell got, and they're free right now. That don't sound fishy to y'all? That don't even spark excitement. No, because it's gotta be Donald. Look, there are plenty of reasons to hate 47. Plenty. But you look like fucking idiots blaming him for shit that ain't there. Now, let the courts run through. Let whatever's going to come out, come out. If anything changes, then my position will change. But as of right now, there is nothing that has anything to do with 47 and any of the Jeffy shit. It's just there. Do fucking research. Quit listening to your nana or your fuckwit friends that are just spouting off horseshit that they saw on TikTok. It ain't hard to do a little bit of fucking research. And take the context of what's being said or whatever with it. Don't pull a paragraph or a sentence out of a paragraph and say, here it is right here. Just makes you look like idiots. It makes you look like fucking idiots. So, now, I watch the news. We're switching up off that. That's all I got to say about that right now. You fucking people who keep wanting to dig and find and pick this scab, you know, you're turning a blind eye to some fuck shit that's been going on. And it's, oh, you're using the excuses. These are distractions. Yeah, I could understand maybe a UFO, some bullshit like that, or somebody slipping and falling up the steps or something like that. You know, those I could be like, yeah, that might be trying to, you know, shove some shit under the window. But a lot of fuck shit going on here. And you know, these Epstein files have been nothing but a distraction from the real shit that is going to fuck on. For instance, fucking Minnesota. What the hell's going on there? The last I heard of Minnesota was that the Sand people were taking it over and they were trying to do some Sharia shit up there, which I haven't heard too much more of. You know, that was a couple of years back, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. I know that No, I believe that was Michigan, where the parents pretty much got off scot free from mutilating their daughter, and so did the doctor because of religious reasons. Um, and I said this before, I'll say it again. Just a little side note: if your God tells you to mutilate your child or to murder your child or to do whatever to a child, fuck you and your God. Go find somebody new. All right. I just, you know, there's a reason why the main comic book got revised. The old superhero fucking kept telling people to go kill their own kids and then stopping them in the middle. I think people got wind to that and was like, hey, so you know the new Batman comes about and now it's peace and turn the other cheek. So what else? Oh yeah, Minneapolis. We got one person. I don't know too much about the church thing. I heard about it. I had some other shit going on, so I wasn't able to go too much into it. Apparently, a couple kids were killed. Quite a few people hurt. Somebody just went into a church and started riddling that motherfucker up. Within what I think I just read, within 24 hours, uh, person went into a Catholic school, started shooting that motherfucker up. I'm not sure if anybody died or was injured. Matter of fact, while I'm talking about it, let's see. Let's see if these glasses. Because I got it pulled up here on my other screen. Um, the Catholic Church, Minneapolis, struck children celebrating mass during the first week of school, killing 2 and wounding 17 people. Catholic school, kids serving mass. And armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, 23-year-old Robin Westerman. Now stop. Because I believe, and they're not going to say it here, uh, let's see if this article says it, because I'm noticing a lot of articles are omitting one big fact here. Um, not in here. Not in here. Magic. Okay, so, and this is from the AP. So that just explains everything on why they're not putting it in there. Another fucking trans person killing kids in schools. Apparently, his mama worked there. This is getting like, and I tell I do a set um, on how black folks are no longer the N word. That black folks are just the same as white people. They're actually above level. At least in my eyes, that's what I'm seeing in society. They're still screaming victimhood and all this other shit, but you have surpassed the white folks. Fucking get over it. That just proves a lot of what people says about the victim mentality. You are top dogs right now, and you're still whining that you're not. But I feel like the trans folks have become the new black folks. Still above the white folks, the straight white folks, but the trans folks have become the new black folks. Because in this respect, no matter what the fuck they do, no matter how fucking ignorant, how stupid, how fucking sickening the incident, can't say it's trans. Can't say it was a trans person. Can't say it had anything to do with the rainbow community. Once upon a time it was like that with people of color. Always you'll hear white officer did this and this and that, or white that if it was bad. But if a person of color did something, so and so, 38 years old, robbed this, yeah, or shot up this, that, and that. And then somewhere in the fine print, they'll say an African American or a Latino or a whatever. I don't even think this dude's name is fucking Robin. And they're saying trans dude, so that means that's a woman. It's a chick playing dress up. And if I recall, the last one was that too. Whatever state it was. So if I might have it backwards. I don't know that much about that community to want, or I don't care that much about that community to want to know that. I'm not being rude. Again, you live your lives. Not all trans folks are fucked up, I believe, just like not all straight folks are fucked up, not all pick of colors are fucked up, not all, yeah. But there are quite a few, and it seems like the majority of the school shooters, I mean, the trans folks took the school shootings from the straight white kids. The emo kids are sitting there like, fuck, we ain't even got the school shootings no more. What I find really weird though is, especially lately, I think there's like 4 of them now. All these people have these manifestos, a book of shit they wrote down, what they gonna do, what they want to do, how they're gonna do it, plans, this, that. That don't sit well with me. That don't sit well with me at all. Because maybe a psychopath or a whatever path you want to call them would have not have the sense of reality to be like, you don't write shit down, especially what you're going to do, unless you planned on offing yourself and you wanted whatever and there's some profound message to be heard, which just does not seem like the case. Supposedly there's some kind of pro I'm sure we're ever going to be able to read it. I'm sure about the blocked out subject or the algorithm. Don't flip is. So that being said, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. It's kind of weird that they got all these whatevers. That being said, let's switch the subject. Here's something. Here's something odd. Getting a lot of Marvel movie that they're dropping a lot of trailers and a lot of rumors going around with the whole Marvel thing and shit. That their upcoming new movies and their upcoming new slate of movies. I hate to say it, man. I really hate to say it. Marvel done screwed the pooch. Marvel done screwed the pooch. And there's no way of getting it back. Well, let me say this. There's no way they're willing to go to get it back. I mean, my biggest issue with Marvel and Disney right now, above all else, above all the woke shit, above all the sucky ass Miss Marvel movies, and the train wrecks that were all the my biggest issue is Jonathan Majors. That we all know the story of Jonathan Majors. Whether you want to believe the one side or the other, you do what you do. I believe that poor man was fucked over. I believe he was fucked over. They fucked over his contract. They fucked over his fucking life. There's different conspiracy theories why. Some play more into others. I don't know. But for the shit that Disney has let slide, for the shit that Marvel has let slide, you got fucking Johnny Depp back. You got fucking, Lord knows the backgrounds of half these motherfuckers. Lindsay Lohan was in Disney for a while. Come the fuck on. And now they're talking about recasting the man because they still want to use that character. How about you put that man back in the fucking place he was supposed to be? You want to bring back a lot of Marvel's fucking audience? A lot of faith? Why don't you put fucking Kang back? And not Kang the character, Jonathan fucking Majors. That man is an excellent actor. Fucking played a great role. I mean, and he's, for you out there, he's a black man. He was on top of the game. And New York decided to take him down. On some bullshit. Some proven bullshit. But nobody wanted to listen to it. Ain't that fucking funny? They're letting all these other fuckwits run and destroy New York. But this is what this, fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. And then, notice you haven't heard shit from Pedro Pascal. Thank goodness. Fucking non-actor. Whoever's a Pedro Pascal fan, really, you need to take your fucking rainbow out of the whole fucking situation and sit down and watch his movies. And ask yourself, is he a good actor? Is he good at his craft? Because personally, I think no. Not at all. Not in Wonder Woman, not in the Mandalorian. That could have been anybody there. That could have been anybody because he wore a fucking mask. And the fact that that fucking loser was under that mask in the big reveal, I mean, that's who you picked? That's badass Mando? That's who you picked? Really? The only hope on that end is that in Doomsday or one of these new movies that are coming out, they're going to just off him. Because that would be the easiest way. Marvel got a good way of, because they're doing this whole Doomsday incursion thing, they got a good way of kind of cleaning up some of the mess. But they won't. We all know they won't. You get rid of all the fucking IPs that just didn't work. You screwed up doing the woke bullshit. Fine. You learn your lesson. It's an incursion. That universe is gone. Miss Marvel, gone. What was it? Ironheart. Riri, gone. I wanted to like that fucking show so bad. I wanted to so bad. I don't give a fuck what Riri or the chick who played Riri Williams' fucking attitude was off stage, but it was just terrible, dude. It was fucking terrible. So you do this big battle. You have Miss Marvel. You have even though I think the Rambo lady was decent, she really has no part. She really has no. I mean, nobody even knew who Binary was. So you get. I like little Kamala Khan. I think she should stay, but like the Hawkeye girl, Kate Bishop, she could go. Who else is that? The Riri and that whole clan could go. They need to do something about the Wakanda thing. Find us a good, a new Black Panther, or I don't know if y'all gonna say that his son fucking grew up, but don't give us this horse shit that you did with the whole Namor thing. I mean, I thought Namor was a little bit cool, but of all the characters you could have changed, you guys have changed the fucking just change characters like, dude, the Mexican in the fucking Speedo with the feathers on his feet, just I never understood that in the comics myself. How the fuck you live in water but you got feathers? I just why would you have feathers? Just biologically, and even if it's some Mexican god or some Hispanic god or whatever, a snake with feathers. I guess you might have thought it was maybe a dragon, but then uh, the dragons that I've always seen or whatever, they don't have feathers in the water. I mean, it just don't make sense. Just don't make sense. So you get rid of Namor, Namor, whatever the fuck his name. You get rid of him. You know, you do this big battle. You trim the fat. You trim the fat. I mean, you could even trim that fucking 3-eyed Doctor Strange with the whole Clea thing. You could get rid of that whole fucking. That was stupid. That was just fucking stupid. Um, America Chavez gone. You know, you clean up that fucking mess and make room for a more comic book accurate storyline and look, you might have a chance. Because right now, James Gunn, who is all right, I give him it for he's getting most of his praise from Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, Not bad, but the only reason why Gunn has got what he has right now is because the MCU dropped the ball. I mean, that's it. I mean, because Guardians of the Galaxy, although I did like them, they weren't that good. Ugh. We're gonna see. Yeah, Robin Weston, dumb motherfucker. Nobody, and it's all quiet. It's just, oh, there's a school shooting, but then they don't want to tell nobody who the fuck it is, or they don't even want to say that the mother fucking worked at the school. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. The algorithm don't want to hear it, so we ain't gonna speak on it right now. So just let's see what else we got here going on. I don't know why anybody would think they would care. I guess your Swifties would care, but Travis and Taylor are supposedly engaged or whatever. Who gives two fucks? Um, here's something that I actually just recently started watching it beforehand. Um, and before I even start upon this story, uh, please, algorithm person or whatever, can I at least get the point out before you shut me down? and I've seen two reactions to it. There's these three black kids who do reaction videos to a lot of the news, and that I watched. I forget what the channel was, um, but they were showing the shit that's been going on in Chicago. Well, not only the shit that was going on in Chicago, or that is currently going on there, but the stuff that was going on in DC, and it's fucked up. You know, what? And that's another thing I don't understand with this generation, and how our generation is letting it go. See, you can't keep bitching about these kids. You can't keep bitching about these like the younger generations without taking a step back and looking at yourself. If you're allowing this fucking behavior, then it spreads. It spreads. It's our, a lot of the Gen Xers out here who claim they want this or that or they don't like this or that. Then quit allowing your fucking kids to fucking do it. Quit putting it in their head that this is okay or this, their fucked up way of thinking is all right. Quit allowing them to be groomed. I think I'm back. Um, Yeah, it's the mindset that we gotta stop. We're never gonna save these kids if we don't start changing the mindset. And whether people are saying, "Oh, it's an old school way of thinking," or this or that, look, I remember going to school, and it wasn't that long ago. I went to school with white kids, and yeah, there were and I went to a vocational school. I went to school with a lot of country kids, and there were still a few that were racist there. They'd like to throw their little bullshit out there, and I say this now, if I let a word or a phrase ruin my day, if I let that shit take my heart, rent free in my head, what kind of man am I? What kind of pussy am I? That, that's just my whole point on it. But in that whole learning experience, um, these white kids came to school all the time with guns in the car, shotguns. There was hunting. They had time off. When hunting season came about, certain school districts that were in the country were allowed time off, or certain times that they could come in late, or because it was deer season, it was buck season, it was this or it was that. Nobody got threatened. Nobody got a gun pointed at them. Nobody got those kids. If they had a problem, you fought. You fought or you ran away. Those were your options. All them kids are still alive. I bet you all their grandkids are still alive. Now, if you come from the other side, where my homeschool situation is, kids are dying out here every day. Dying out here every day. There ain't been one day since the new year that there ain't been a shooting. So, my whole point of this was, um, the media has been having a fit about boots on the ground. That's touchy. We can't talk about that. And I just got blanked out. I don't know if I'm still on or whatever. The timer's still there. That's touchy. I mean, the people got a right to know. That's bad when I'm having a conversation with, because again, we all know there's somebody monitoring me. So, I mean, can we come to some kind of agreement here? I mean, obviously, if you got control of my stream, you could send me a message, hit me up on the side, give me some guidelines if you don't like my show. Anyways, uh, so the people are happy about it. We'll just sum it up on that. Now, I done seen another interview, and this whole news clip was actually on both podcasts. Um, the other one is called Politics and Pop, or Pop and Politics, something like that. These three very, very intelligent black women. Um, just speaking the truth. Just speaking the truth. I recommend going to check out their podcast. It's on YouTube. But anyways, they were sitting there, and they showed a clip of Brandon Johnson, and this was MSN talking to him. So these are boys. These are people who like each other. These are Oh, well, you know what? Here. Let me pause this for a quick second, because I think maybe this will help Mr. Algorithm here. I'm sorry, I didn't put this up. Let me make sure it go there. There. Is that better? Is that better? This is all allegedly. Yeah, just from the beginning of this show to the end of this show. Don't believe a fucking word I'm saying. Do your own fucking research. This is either real or it's shit. Do your own research and find out for yourself. especially about the shit in the first half. Anyways, so Joe Scarborough, I guess that's his name, from Morning Joe, he was interviewing Brandon Johnson, and he asked him, do you think with all the crime that's going on in Chicago that 5,000 more police officers there would help out? Yes or no question? Yes or no question? That is a softball question. 4 times he was asked this question, and 4 times he dodged it. The guy who was interviewing was like, look, I know what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you. This, and this, I'm agreeing with you. All I'm asking is, do you think more cops would help out? Refuse to fucking answer. Refuse. And then the whole fact now that, they're saying that the whole reason that the Steve Miller guy is a white supremacist, and this is all his doing about putting troops on the ground or boots on the ground, meaning the military coming in and helping out the police officers. This is all white supremacy, and this is indicative of Tulsa and all this other horse shit. Look, it may seem like people are going after minorities or people of color. And the reason why it seems that way in these areas, because those are the ones that are doing the stupid shit. What the fuck do you want? If you don't want your people incarcerated, if you don't want your people oppressed, then tell your people to clean up their fucking act. There's always going to be them stragglers. There's always going to be, a group of, I ain't going to say 1 or 2, but you guys know what I mean. There's always going to be some of each one of the groups that are going to do their fuck shit. We know that. From the authorities to the people of color to the people of not color. There's always going to be them handful. It's up to the rest of us not to encourage or add to the fucking problem. Why is that so fucking hard to understand? Or better yet, why is that racist? You know why? They're not going into white communities? Because there ain't fucking crime every goddamn night in a white community. It's just simple like that. It may not be something you want to hear, but it's the people with a little pigment who have the problems. It's my community. It's your communities. It's the hood communities. I mean, when I was growing up, people from the hood stuck together. There weren't very many white folks in the hood, but the ones that were there were part of the hood. The Puerto Ricans, the blacks, the Italian, we was all part of the hood. Now nobody gives a fuck about nobody. And nobody wants to open their fucking eyes and take accountability. And I'm not talking just one person, as a whole, as a group. The Hispanics are out here whining about deportations. Well, why is your community not helping people get their papers? Why is not your community telling these people, no, do it the right way? No, your community is telling people, come the fuck in, you can get free shit, and this is how, and if you don't, go to this state, they'll let you do whatever the fuck you want. That's a detriment to your people. I mean, I don't know why that seems racist. I'm Hispanic too, motherfucker. I'm saying it. I did. One of the kids that were reviewing them videos earlier said something very, very profound to me. He's like, we got these white and black folks talking about the hood, and they never seen the hood in their life. How are you gonna talk about people and you don't even know these people? He's absolutely fucking right. And then when you get to know these people and you get to know the facts, we can't say that. We can't tell anybody. Why the fuck not? You don't get the fucking problem taken care of unless you don't. I just don't. I don't understand. I don't understand. And it's always the blame of white supremacy, and it's always the blame of this, and it's always the blame of that. I had a show a few years back with a friend of mine, a black gentleman that I have very much respect for. Um, he's a teacher, he's a comedian, he's a nerd. He's just an all around good guy. Um, for the most part, we all got our issues. Uh, Racist. I have to admit he's racist. He may not think he's racist, but he holds it there. And you know, we need to get over that shit too. Because I'm going to take back, I won't say he's racist. He has his prejudices just like everybody else. He has his prejudices just like everyone else. And if you're out here saying you don't, then you might be a racist. Yeah, everybody got their little prejudices here and there. They're stereotypes are there for a reason. Most of them are real. Nobody likes to hear them, but most of them are real. Anyways, get back to what I was saying. Um, we were doing a show one night, and I asked him. I'm like, well, or we went about the show. We went about the show, and he's talking about how white folks uh want to dominate and they want to control everything and all this other bullshit. And then I looked at him and I'm like, well, then what do black folks want? What do black folks want? In your opinion, what do you want? We want everything the white folks want. So wait a minute. You just spent 45 minutes saying that white folks are supremacists, white folks are trying to take over this, white folks want to oppress people, this and that. So you just told me that as a black person, you want you and your people to be dominant and oppress and to do this and that. What kind of fucking sense is that? Let me take that back. Makes a whole lot of sense because that's what true equality is. And that's where you find your balance. But what kind of sense does it make to push a society forward? You shouldn't be, waiting for your turn to be racist. We should all be trying to get rid of the fuck shit. But it's not that. It's I want to be dominant. I want to be dominant. I want to be dominant. And it's not just black folks. It's the sand people. Because look what they're doing down in Texas and Minnesota and over in fucking New York now. After after the Hispanics are being pushed pretty much out. No, the illegals are being pushed out. Now, the sand people want to come in with their communism bullshit. The Hispanics did it in California and for New York for years. The Italians fucking did it. Nobody wants racism gone. Let's just put that out there right now. No one wants racism gone as a group. They just want their turn. They want their turn to be on top and to be able to call you the N-word. You want to get, the N got passed to this group. The N got passed to that group. The N got passed to that group. That's all. That's all. At least that's what we're seeing in society. If I'm not seeing that, or if I'm seeing something that you're not seeing, show me. Show me. We covered a story the other day, Dino and I, about Snoop Dogg. I ain't gonna name the movies or whatever, just in case they might get a little touchy on the algorithm here. But Snoop said he was afraid to take his grandbabies to the movies over the content of some of the animation these days. It's just dudes like that. And now everybody wants to cancel Snoop. Look, man. Who the fuck are you? Anybody who thinks that they want to cancel anything or anybody. Who the fuck are you to think your opinion is that important that you want to take down somebody else because their opinion is not? It was okay when this man was talking about drinking gin and juice. It was okay when this man was talking about smoking and dealing drugs blatantly and illegally. Before any of the weed was legal, before, 187 on the motherfucking cop. You remember that? You remember that? You remember that? That means murder on a cop. That means kill a cop. Y'all was cool with that, though. You were good with that. You were cool when he was bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. That was okay. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That was okay. But now this old man is afraid to take his grandkids to the fucking movies because of the fuck shit that's in the movies, which I find silly. But because of the fuck shit in the movies, and now y'all want to cancel him? Now y'all want to cancel him. Get the fuck out of here, please. And this goes back to what I said earlier. This goes exactly back to what I said earlier about the whole fucking the trans has become the new black. The rainbow is that the rainbow is darker than you think. You gonna catch it. Never love a bitch. Remember that? Remember that? Remember that? That was Snoop. Never love a bitch. That was Snoop. Remember the gang signs? The gang, the gang. Yeah, that was Snoop. That was okay though. He can't fucking be worried about his grandkids. You should be worried about your goddamn grandkids. Or you're not breeders. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, so let's see. Wait a minute. What just passed? Something just tried to pass over here on the news. Prosecutors failed to secure indictment against man who threw a sandwich at a federal agent. Now, I do not believe that man should go to jail for throwing a sandwich at the cop or the federal agent. I don't believe that at all. That man did not deserve to go to jail. Maybe a little belligerent, maybe take him downtown, book him or whatever, send him on his way. A little bit of hassle for maybe an hour or so, like the rest of us get. But that man didn't deserve to be in jail or getting the hype of this. Now, what that man did deserve is body cams off, and that cop should have whooped his ass. No weapons. No weapons. No, take the vest off. But that agent should have been able to whip that dude's ass. That's just the only time when I threw a sandwich at somebody, I was fighting. So that dude was ready to fight. But jail time or indictments and all that horse shit, that's a little extreme now. Come on. What the hell? Now, see, shit like this gets passed and nobody looks at it until the end. So, the headline on this, and we'll end up on this. This is some shit. So, this is some breaking shit that I'm just getting right now, too. It says inside USAID's fire cell that includes. Now, remember, for those who don't know, USAID is this supposedly helping the international whatever the fuck, funding all these nonprofits and helping with disease and AIDS and all this stuff all over the world, and they're starving people because we stopped the USAID. And okay, so this is a fire cells. They're selling all their shit off. They're trying to find funding for whatever the fuck they were doing. So again, let's go back to this headline. Inside USAID's fire cell that includes iPads, defibrillators. So, I mean, first of all, right there, we all know the iPad is the new notebook. So, and I mean, everything's done. So I can understand you got these business things. I can get that. Defibrillators, I get that. Those are supposed to be in the buildings. Motorcycles and more. Motorcycles? Motorcycles. All right, so we're going to click on this and see if it's going to let us do it. This is from the Atlantic. We're going to see if it comes up here. Yes, it did. Okay. One of the more surreal knock-on effects of gutting USAID is the U.S. government is now holding a massive fire cell for mosquito nets. I can get that. Water towers. Printers, iPads, chairs, generators, defibrillators, textbooks, agricultural equipment. The motorcycles here got me kind of fucked up. And what? We got a fleet of Harleys? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's not saying, it just says motorbikes, mobile health clinics, and more. Until recently, these items supported the 5,000 plus foreign aid projects that Trump administration has now canceled. And now, the only issue I'm seeing with this so far, we're just only halfway through here. The only issue I'm seeing so far is, with all the shit that's needed, supposedly, especially in these disaster areas, send them there. Wipe the iPads clean. I'm sure the hospitals there could use them. I'm sure the administrative people could use them. If there's any left over, send them to the border, because I'm sure our border agents can use the iPads in assisting the proper way of coming through. That's an idea there. The motorbikes can go to our border patrol, because they're on rough terrain there. So, I mean, agricultural equipment, yeah, for all these people, who's gonna do the farming now? Read the book and start fucking planting seeds, motherfucker. Mobile health clinics, we could always use those. Again, we got all these poor areas. I just watched a documentary earlier about the poorest place in the fucking America. It's in West Virginia and up in Appalachia. Yeah, when we're not gonna say which administration, but I guess you could figure it out. Shut down all the fucking coal mines. Fuck the whole town for real. Let's see, motorbike health clinics and more. So what's more? Normally, when the project ends, its leftover usable goods get methodically inventoried, then distributed to other projects or local partners who can put them to use. This year is quite obviously different. Yeah. I have not heard of any of USAID fucking ever putting anything towards America. See, federal humanitarian workers have scrambled to run mass closeouts before their own termination or their project's bankruptcy. Little guidance or leadership at USAID or the State Department. The result is millions of dollars worth of equipment that the United States had already purchased being auctioned off, likely at an extreme loss. Okay. Did you hear the contradiction in this horseshit? Supposedly we got people that we were given to over here. Well, we needed it or whatever. But now that we're getting shut down, we can't give it to the people over here that needed it. We gotta sell it. Where the fuck's the money going? Where's the money going? I would love to know where this fucking money is going. Because I could almost guarantee it's going to a Democrat regime. Just saying. All right, so there's let's see, some USAID workers and local partners have managed to follow Plan A, that is donating goods where they can be most useful, despite the fact that there are no longer any USAID funded projects to hand equipment off to. The State Department has assumed responsibility for roughly 20% of USAID's original projects that will continue. After the publication of the story, following a request for comment that went unreturned, I received an email statement from someone who used a State Department press inbox and repeatedly refused to identify themselves as anything other than a State Department spokesperson. This person told me that most of the USAID's grantees offloaded property to local government or NGOs. So that's what I was saying. I don't know about the NGOs. I don't even like that little acronym there. Really sounds shady. Let's see. A worker at one NGO that operates in Miramar told me that her colleagues donated beds, nets, and medical equipment to the country's collapsed health system after the government terminated the malaria project. Okay, see, this is what I was talking about. When they say local governments, they're not bringing that shit back here. Yeah, fucking sell it all. They're not giving it to local governments like around America. They're whatever fucking country. So now we paid millions of this. We're not going to be here, so here, just have it. I can understand the medical shit unless needed here because it ain't like we don't have disaster areas that people ain't in need. But, okay, you want to leave the medical shit there as far as like medicines and shit like that? Fine. You know, needles, maybe alcohol preps, shit like that. Fine. Get the rest of our shit the fuck out of here. And if you can't bring it home and give it to our local governments, our people, sell it. Fuck you guys. Quit fucking whining. So, we made it through a whole hour. We had a couple bumps and glitches there. We made it through a whole hour solo tonight. So thank you for the few people who are watching tonight. I keep hearing this on YouTube, so I guess I'm going to start saying it. Maybe it'll help out. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you do to get this shit rolling, and maybe the almighty algorithm will give me a fucking break. Keep an eye out, man. You know, what's going on is not a distraction from the Epstein files. At this point, the distraction is the Epstein files from everything else. It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It's been What the Fuck Wednesday. Y'all be good to each other. I'm out.
So what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. So what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. So what the fuck? What the fuck?